So Chris Weidman is actually planning to come back. After breaking his leg against Uriah Hall and losing, like, what, 5 of his last 6 fights, Chris Weidman still believes that he has one more shot at the title in him. And I love Chris, man. I do, but I don't think this is a smart move for him. I really don't. I mean, he's going against Brad Tavares. It's a winnable fight if he wrestles. Really, the prospect of a Chris Weidman grab or striking against anyone really worries me, because Chris Weidman is not as durable as he was in his... What the hell? Denied that. Oh my gosh, a twister? Really? I don't actually see too many people attempt that. He's not going to get it anyway. Yeah, what was I saying? Chris Weidman is not as... What the hell? Am I slow on the denies? What the hell? He's just not nearly as durable as he was in his younger days, you know? He's not the same Chris Weidman that went 5 rounds against Lyoto Machida. He's not the same Chris Weidman that was able to beat Anderson Silva twice, you know? He's just not. Ever since that fight against Luke Rockhold, like, he continuously gets finished, and every time he gets finished, it's somehow worse than the last time. Somehow. Let's see if I can submit this guy. But, you know, Chris, he just has a strong belief in his skills, and, like, in a way, like, I can't really blame him, because, you know, he is a guy that he reached the top of the mountain, you know? He was the guy that beat the guy that was unbeatable. And he did it twice, you know? I remember his run in UFC, man, when he was still undefeated. That was impressive. I didn't think anyone was going to beat him, to be honest. I thought, like... I don't know, man. Like, Chris has had an amazing career, no doubt. But, I mean, he's close to 40. His best days are behind him. I really don't want to see him fight anymore. I really don't want to see him get hurt anymore. But, you know, he's decided to come back. So, I'm going to try to get a few matches with him today. There's one down anyway, so gonna try to find another one real quick. Okay, so going against the GSP for this one. I don't really see too many people use GSP. Not even at welterweight, let alone middleweight, you know? But here we go. Depending how good this guy's grappling is, this could be a long night for me. Because similar to real life now, if Chris Weidman gets rocked in the game, it is very hard for him to recover. Alright, so he loves that jab, leg kick. Okay. He's got to be careful, though, because Chris has steel checks. I only need to check, like, a few of these, you know? Oh, he mixed it up. Nice. Nice. Oh! There it is. Oh, can I get this armbar? Maybe not. GSP has some pretty good submission defense. No, I'm not gonna get it, but I'm gonna see how far I can get anyway.
Escape that. He can't hold you there. He can't hold you there.
You know what's crazy? If someone's arm was actually extended this far, like, most of the time, the fight would be over. Just saying. What? Yeah, I really don't want to see Chris go down the route that like BJ Penn did, in the sense that like he just keeps on losing, you know? It would really break my heart if I saw him go that route.
He's looking for the Kimura.
Okay. This is a decent attempt. I might be able to get this. Hold on. Let me concentrate real quick.
Let's go. Finish hard.
You know, for UFC 5, I'm pretty sure Chris Weidman's going to be a character in UFC 5. Oh, I actually got it. I was going to escape. Nice. If they add Chris Weidman in UFC 5, and I hope they do, I want them to give him his prime stats. No respect. I want them to give Chris Weidman the stats he had when he fought like Lyoto Machida, you know? Like, I get that he's chinny now. He's had some really bad losses, but come on, like, give him a better chin in the next game, you know? I love Chris, man. I used to use him a lot in the first UFC 3 games, but because of his health stats in this one, I get scared every time I try to use him. If the guy that I go against knows any like takedown defense whatsoever, and like he's even if he's even like mediocre at striking, if I get rocked, it is very hard to come back. But 2 solid performances, so let's see if I can get one more real quick. Alright, this will probably be my last fight with Chris Weidman, regardless if I win or lose. What was that? Eat a muffin?
Ready.
Oh, eating a muffin. A muff. Alright, anyway, here we go. Going against a Dricus Du Plessis. You know, probably the saddest thing about like watching any of Chris Weidman's like recent fights, you'll notice that like most of the time he's not really getting outclassed per se. Like he actually ends up being like pretty competitive, but he usually just ends up getting caught, you know. And once he gets caught, he just doesn't know how to recover. His chin won't let him. Like, he was doing really good against Yoel. I would argue he was doing pretty good against Luke Rockhold before he threw that spinning wheel kick. That was really the demise of Chris Weidman's career, to be honest. I think there was a good chance Chris could have won that fight had he not thrown that wheel kick. But, you know, that's all in the past now, so can't really change it, you know? Oh, how did that not rock you? Let me see. What's another fight? His fight against Gegard Mousasi. He was doing pretty good in that one. He did kind of play himself, though. Remember that weird period where they were trying to change the rules about knees to a grounded opponent? And essentially what happened, Chris was winning that fight against Gegard with his grappling, but at one point, Chris Weidman, it looked like he had both hands on the ground, and it looked like Gegard had kneed him in the head while he was down. But upon further inspection, it was revealed that Gegard actually lifted his hands up from the mat before he actually connected with the knees. But I think Chris's corner kind of told him to essentially like, hey, take your time, like, because Chris was getting pretty tired. Gegard looked to have the advantage. But because they deemed the strike as legal, they awarded the win to Gegard Mousasi. Ooh. That was another fight he was doing really good in. Oh, if you've not seen Chris's fight against Jacare Souza, watch that fight. That was a really good fight. I would argue that Chris in his fight against Jacare, that was the absolute best his hands had looked in any of his fights. And Chris, I mean, it was a close fight, but there was a good chance he was probably up like 2 rounds to nothing going into that third. I mean, he busted up Jacare's nose, but that night Jacare had that dog in him, and he just kept walking forward regardless of what Chris threw at him. And ended up putting Chris Weidman away in that third round, and badly. Oh, there it is. All right, that's where we shine. Imagine how much different Chris's career could have looked had he actually won that fight against Luke Rockhold. In all honesty, we probably would have seen Yoel become champion, because I think at that time, I mean, Yoel was always like in contention, but around the time that Chris Weidman was champion, I think aside from Luke Rockhold, there was Jacare, Yoel, and probably Gegard. Those are like some of the really big contenders of that division. I mean, there's a good chance that Chris would have gotten finished, like, regardless by any of those guys, because they are all killers. But, if there's one thing you can say about Chris Weidman's career, is that he definitely fought killers. No doubt about it. Like, did he have, like, really good timing in his career? Yeah, probably. He managed to get into title contention when Anderson Silva was starting to decline. But, yeah. He had an amazing career. I mean, he became champion. I mean, aside from Izzy, like, you would, I think you gotta put Chris, like, top 3 as far as, like, middleweight champions. Obviously, I think right now, Anderson Silva is number 1, although Izzy is pretty dang close to taking that title for himself. So right now, it's Anderson, then it's Izzy, and then I would say Chris. That's my list. Let me know down in the comments who you think or like, who ranks among the top middleweight champions for the UFC. Oh, that could have been so bad. Clinch with him. Hip. Nice. Nope. Oh, he doesn't have a bulldog choke. He has a rear naked choke, though. I'm not going to have enough time. I wasn't really paying attention to the clock, to be honest. Should be up 2 rounds to nothing at this point. I'm rooting for Chris, man. I really hope he pulls off the win, but you know, if he does win, I hope he doesn't have any delusions that
We're down on the scorecard.
you know he has what it takes to beat
Okay?
Izzy or Robert Whitaker. You know, the really top echelon of the middleweight division right now, because you know if he was a little more durable, then I'd say yeah, he has a chance because his grappling is still world class. Like he willingly took people like Damian Maya and Jacare Souza to the ground. You know, ooh, nice little sidestep.
Let's get going.
Mm-hmm. Dump him. Ooh, nice. He's making adjustments. He's actually kind of fighting like Dreykus in real life. Like, despite the fact that he's tired, he's still throwing. Nice. Nice. Oh, gotcha. Nice. You're making me have to work for this one, not gonna lie. Yeah, I think best case scenario, Chris wins this fight and then he just retires, like, finally. Honestly, I thought he should have retired after Uriah Hall broke his leg, you know? I mean, that was such a horrific injury. But, you know, like I said earlier, Chris knows how good he was. And I'm sure anyone that's been, like, excellent, like, tremendous at anything, when they're told that they can't do that one thing that they were so good at anymore, I'm sure it brings up a lot of emotions, you know? But I hope that Chris can come to terms with like his career, to be honest. I really do. He's got a family. I mean, he's done so much in the sport. I don't think I'm gonna get this. This is what I'm talking about, the submission game, man. Like, you see how low he was on stamina? And Chris has a 95 submission offense rating. And I still couldn't finish that. That's crazy. But whatever. Should be a unanimous decision for me. You like that slip straight?
Ladies and gentlemen, after 3 rounds, we go to the judges' scorecards for decision. All 3 judges score this contest 30-27, declaring the winner by unanimous decision, Chris Weidman.
Alrighty. Well, pretty solid day using Chris Weidman. I don't usually have that much success with him, so yeah, feels good. Thank you guys for watching. If you sticked around to the end of the video, consider leaving a like, comment, subscribe to my channel. With that being said, hope you enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see y'all in the next one. See ya.